What's good, everyone? OG over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another PE News video. Today, we have some very interesting topics because we're talking about Sega, and some more Sega. Sega Ages announced for the Nintendo Switch, Shenmue 1 and 2, that is finally coming back in a nice HD collection. We also have a new Sakura Wars game. Yo, shoutouts, like where has that franchise been? And also the Sega Mega Drive Mini as well. So Sega fans have been going crazy with the news. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And we are starting off with probably the biggest news of the show when it comes to Sega's recent live stream, and that Shenmue 1 and 2 has been announced for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So Shenmue 1 and 2 will be returning for a newer generation. So Sega has announced Shenmue 1 and 2 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam at the Sega Fest 2018 live stream. It will launch physically for consoles and digitally worldwide in 2018 for $29.99. In Japan, it will be released only on the PlayStation 4. So here's a little bit more about the game if you don't know about Shenmue, because these games came out quite a bit ago. So originally released for the Dreamcast in 2000 and 2001, Shenmue 1 and 2 is an open world action adventure combining jujitsu combat, investigative sleuthing, RPG elements, and memorable minigames. It pioneered many aspects of modern gaming, including the open world city exploration, and was a game that combined the QuickTime Event, or QTE. It was one of the first games with a persistent open world where day and night cycles happen, weather changes, shops open and close, and NPCs go about their business all on their own schedules. Now, there's a little bit more about the story that I want to get into as well. So this is a tale of revenge. Now, in 1986, a teenage jiu-jitsu artist, Ryo Hazuki, returns to the dojo of his father, only to witness his murder by a Chinese man, Lan Di. Lan Di steals a mysterious artifact known as the Dragon Mirror. Ryo vows to avenge his father's death and sets out tracing Lan Di's path. Now, here's some more information in terms of the gameplay. So, take the role of Ryo Hazuki. Explore a 3D open world, searching for clues, examining objects, and talking to NPCs. Battle enemies and bosses, making full use of the moves of Hazuki-style Jiu-Jitsu. Beat QuickTime events, QTEs, and minigames. Here are the key features of the game: the best Shenmue experience, pioneering Dreamcast classics available for the first time on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Updated their user interface, choice of modern or classic controls, Japanese audio available for the first time for a global audience. There's also English audio is available as well. Fully scalable screen resolutions. An epic legend, a tale of revenge on a grand scale. Solve the mystery of your father's murder. An experience never to be forgotten. The world feels alive. Talk to anyone. Scout the world for clues. NPCs live independent lives on their own schedule. Faithful reenactions of 1980s Japan and Hong Kong, China. Distract yourself with arcade games, collectibles, duck racing, and more. While you're on this really important quest, you need to do all these other things. No, but in all seriousness, guys, this game was such a cult classic back in the day. I remember renting Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 and not beating either one of them. The game just felt kind of weird to me in terms of how it played and the controls, but they are going to spruce things up a bit. This is not just a pure port in 1080p. They are fixing quite a number of things that was wrong with the original, and the main thing to me was the controls, kind of how stiff everything felt. So I'm thinking this one's going to feel a lot better when it comes to the controls in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Shenmue 1 and 2. It's been a long time coming for these games, and I honestly feel that Sega's incompetence when it comes to this is the reason why it took so long. We probably should have had these games last generation, years ago, but that's okay. They're coming at this point, and a lot of Sega fans are super happy about this because Shenmue 3 is launching. And that's funny because Sega didn't even want to really fund that game. That's like some type of weird Kickstarter thing that was announced about 5 years ago at this point, and the game still isn't out. So it's just going to be interesting to see how fans react to this game, how Shenmue 3 performs on the market, and if that leads to a Shenmue 4 or a new game in the franchise. So what do you guys think about all of this when it comes to Shenmue 1 and 2? Were you psyched when they announced it? Were you like, yes, finally? Because I know there was a lot of different reactions that I've watched with a lot of old school Sega fans and just Sega fans in general that were super hyped about this. So let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the next title here, we have a brand new Sakura Wars game that has been announced. Now, the new game is set in the Taisho era, 1929, so a very interesting era when it comes to it. Now, Sega has announced a completely new entry in the Sakura Wars series for unannounced platforms at Sega Fest 2018. The game will be set in the imperial city of Tokyo in the Taisho era, 1929. Now, further information was not released. Now, the last entry in the Sakura Wars series, Sakura Wars So Long My Love, launched for the PS2 in Japan in 2005. It was later released in North America and Europe for both the PlayStation 2 and Wii in 2010. So Sega took a little bit of time to localize that, just a swift 5 years that they sat on that game, and it came out on the Wii as well. So I remember this game coming out back in the day on the Wii and thinking, this seems interesting. I just did not have the money at the time to buy it, but I did feel that it was an interesting looking game in terms of the combat, the strategy, and kind of what you can do inside the mechanics they built in. And I've seen other people play the game as well. So if they kind of modernize things, if they make it a lot more fun to play, great controls, a lot of content, different types of mechs, and the story is really good, then I'm all down for a new Sakura Wars games. From what I've played, it does seem like a good franchise. But that just goes to show you how not confident Sega was in this franchise. The fact that it took 5 years to localize on the PS2 and on the Nintendo Wii. Then on top of that, there hasn't been a game since then. So we're going on almost a decade now with the 8-year anniversary from the last one, which was a port of the older one, which they should have brought over somewhat near 2005, but waited 5 years for some reason. So for me, I'm looking at this like, let's see what they do, but overall, we don't have any more information. I guess that's one criticism that I can levy on this whole event, that there was no screenshots, there was no trailer. They just pretty much read a press release when it comes to it, which is fine. It's their event, they can do what they want, but at the same time, it's hard for me to get too excited about something that doesn't really have any type of real visual that I can see or anything like that, or a trailer. We just know that there's a new Sakura Wars game coming. Now, also, my boy Stealth on Twitter also dropped some more information too, saying that Sega said that it's going to be for new platforms. So I'm thinking that's going to be PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch, or at least the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, or heck, maybe even they're planning the PlayStation 5 at this point, because we have no idea when this is going to drop. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But overall, I'm thinking that it's going to come to the Wii, just because I know people did like that one. People did buy it on the Wii. But overall, I do think that it'll come to Nintendo Switch, considering that it came to the Wii and people did like it and buy it on there. So I'm thinking that this new game is probably going to come over. It fits with the type of tone that Nintendo Switch fans would probably like to play, based on what I've seen from Sakura Wars So Long My Love. So what do you guys think about this one here when it comes to Sakura Wars? Are you interested in this game? What do you think it's going to play like compared to the previous entries in the franchise? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the next topic here, we have the Sega Mega Drive Mini System announced by Sega. So it's due out in 2018 in Japan. Now, the Sega Mega Drive Mini will feature a number of beloved Sega Genesis titles. Further information was not announced, and that's pretty much the theme with this event from Sega. They announce things such as classic games, or they're porting some games and stuff, and they don't actually show us anything or give us more information outside of a few different things that night. But yeah, they showed off this really cool looking Sega Mega Drive. The mini system looks awesome. Love the 16-bit on there. Love the side of it. I always thought that the Genesis and the Sega Genesis and all that stuff were some of the coolest looking systems out there in terms of how it just looked, how it operated, and everything, man. I was a big fan of Sega. I didn't have one when I was a kid, but I always was going over to my friend's house to play Sega. I was a Nintendo dude, so I would just play the games, but that didn't stop me from actually thinking like, yo, Sega was cool, Sonic is cool, all the games like Vector Man and all that stuff is awesome, and I want to play those if I ever get the opportunity. And this looks really cool, so I'm excited to see what they actually do with it. Now, there is some, I guess, some concern from some fans out there, because I forgot the name of the company. I'll put it up on the screen here, but they're apparently a company that people don't like is going to be manufacturing this, so some people's hype has kind of drained a little bit, but I still think that we should wait for the final product. But from what some people are saying, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too good. But what do you guys think about this when it comes to the Sega Mega Drive Mini? Are you guys going to be picking up one of these? Do you want to have all these different types of Sega games on here? Have you already purchased one of these mini Sega device consoles? Because there have been other ones with a bunch of games on there. Do you think this is no different outside of the looks? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the final topic here, we have Sega Ages being announced for the Nintendo Switch. And this one's interesting because this is pretty much called for the death of the Virtual Console, many people are thinking, based on this announcement. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but I did want to talk about the Sega Ages just a little bit here. So more than 15 classic Sega titles are coming to Nintendo Switch. So this includes Phantasy Star, Thunder Fire 4, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, Sega did announce this at the Sega Fest 2018 event here, and there really isn't much more information outside of what I just told you guys. Now, Thunder Force 4 will be playable at Sega Fest 2018, so if you want to play Thunder Force 4, you can definitely do so there. And it looks like these games are going to be coming to the Nintendo eShop this summer. Now, this will be developed by M2, so that's awesome there. M2 is really good, and they'll have additional features as well. So maybe save states, maybe you can kind of rewind features, things like that. And it'll be released worldwide once again during the summer. So awesome stuff there, but a lot of people are saying, well, since they're doing stuff like this, we're not going to get the traditional virtual console, which might be true, might not really sure. I'm not sure if this says one thing or another outside of they're just bringing these games over, but overall I think it's cool that they're bringing Sega Ages over, but to have that as really the only confirmed Switch announcement for this event was kind of lame. But at the same time, I understand when it comes to Shenmue I and II. That game, apparently, according to Liam Robertson, was supposed to come out in 2017. I'm pretty sure they started working on that before they even had a Switch dev kit in terms of getting those games modernized. And you know how Sega likes to take their time with localizations, so I doubt they'd add any new platforms in for that game when it comes to Shenmue I and II. But really, this is the only confirmed game that we had, and it's just older games, and they're being really cryptic about it. They didn't show any trailers or anything like that, which was, once again, my main problem with this whole event, that there really wasn't any trailers for the games. There really wasn't a lot of content to see. I mean, there was some information with some of them and things, but I wish they actually would have showed off the Sega Mega Drive Mini in action, give us some more information about the games. Sega Ages only announcing 3 games as well, but it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it too much, but really that was my only nitpick about the show. So what do you guys think about all this content here when it comes to Shenmue I and II in terms of an HD collection coming? Also, when it comes to Sakura Wars as well, Sega Mega Drive Mini, and of course Sega Ages on the Nintendo Switch. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of players that's across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming page and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emails via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.